Bonjour, Monsieur Mike.
And bonjour, Edwige. So happy to see you, my lucky charm.
And if you remember, Mike, and I hope that you do remember, last week we were talking about standing in front of the mirror, looking at the honest truth about where you are on the journey of being fit and healthy. And this week, we're adding another piece. As you remember, the trilogy.
Yes.
Honesty, hope, and healing. So we're on hope. And we are hoping that you will stay with us.
Well, we are. And we're so excited that you are still with us on this journey of becoming fit and healthy. And we hope that you took the things we said, the questions we asked last week to heart, and that you've already started coming up with a vision of your own.
Yes, and that's very important. We will remind you over and over again this month that it is your vision and make it unique to who you are, not trying to copy anybody else. You could be inspired by somebody else, but at the end is yours, and also make it realistic. That's a key word. When you hope for things, it has to be linked to realism also.
Well, it really does. And we're going to get into that a little bit later. But I'll tell you, it's funny, the concept of hope, right? I've got a friend. I don't think you've met him.
Well,
statistics professor. I might have mentioned it in conversation with you.
Really? I'm impressed.
Yeah, and I was talking about this journey of hope that we're doing in the vision. And he was running some analysis. And he said, at first he hoped, and then he became certain that I was going to pull it off at Vige. Yeah, wow. So it's going to happen. And then even beyond that, as part of the action we were taking, we're going to talk about some of the techniques I'm using, but I did decide I wanted to get a gym membership.
Oh, that's a good thing.
I gave it a lot of thought. And I think I'm going to take one, surprisingly, in Britain. Yeah, because I think that the equipment's a little bit better. I like the facility.
Okay, Mike, I'm sorry to tell you, you're hopping around a little too much. You got to get back on the track.
All right,
healthy
hopping around a bit
track.
much.
Gotcha. The realism. Remember, we just talked about.
Okay, you're right.
I have a question for you, Mike.
Go ahead.
You know, some people always wondered, it's my DNA, my family used to have this issue, that issue. That's why I can't be what I am wanting to be. In your family, anyone was struggling with their weight?
Oh, my father did. Way worse than me. I mean, my struggles are there, but I generally not on the level that dad's were. But it's funny because he had his own technique for dealing with this kind of thing. I remember when I was a kid one time, we were at the grocery store, we're about to cash out, and my mom was very much on my dad about weight back then for health concerns.
Yeah.
And he came running up with these 2 boxes from the bakery. And one of the boxes was written on the outside, low-cal cookies, and the other said diet cake. And my mom was so excited when she saw these things that dad was getting something that might be healthy and bought them very happily. And then that night, I remember after dinner, dad said, let's break out those desserts. So my mom was so excited and we opened them up and we all had a couple of bites of the cake and a couple of cookies. And my mom said to my dad, these are amazing. How can they make these low-cal or diet? And my dad started laughing and said, well, I hoped you would not ask that question, because what he had done was just gotten these boxes of regular full-calorie things and had the woman at the bakery write it down, but he was sure hoping to get away with it.
That's a funny story. Thank you for sharing this. And you know, this word hope is really a it's a
two-edged sword, a double-edged sword.
Like right now, we need to hope that the vaccine is going to work for the COVID, because we need to keep being positive in our attitude. However, when it comes to being fit and healthy, just to hope to get those muscles just by watching TV and eating bonbons, I don't think that's the right vision to hold. What do you think?
Well, it's not the way it works. I mean, we talked earlier about magical thinking. Vision is one thing, but it needs to tie in with action, and not just any kind of action. What kind?
Inspired. Stay away from anything painful. Inspired action.
Inspired action. And I actually want to share something with you about inspired action I was able to take through something that Advish presents in her book, which is The Fresh Start Promise, which is a fantastic read. And you've got the 5-bite technique in there.
Yes,
and in a minute, you're gonna get into that a bit. But I want to tell you, for the first time in my life, I'm leaving food on my plate and I'm comfortable walking away. And it goes back to Dad again, because when he was a kid, he was playing with a friend, and the friend threw a piece of bread on the ground. And they were young, very impressionable. And at that point, a rabbi walked by and said, "Do you know it's a sin to throw away bread?" very sternly. And my father never forgot it. So for him, the concept of waste was so untenable. There was no wiggle room. And I'm not advocating waste at all here, understand. But the flip side of that is gluttony. And the middle ground is, put stuff away for later. You don't have to throw it away. You don't have to finish it all. Just put some away for later. Or, and another technique that a very smart friend of mine turned me on to, if you're going out to eat, order a couple of appetizers instead of the huge meal. You can eat and enjoy those and not go overboard with portions. It's inspired action, and it's really not that hard to do once you're feeling it.
Okay, I tell you a story related to your father and the rabbi.
Okay.
When I grew up in France, I was forced to finish my plate.
Right.
Because we were told the children in Africa are starving.
Yeah.
But to this day, I'm wondering, if I had finished the plate, would that action help the kids over there feel better? And this is how weird some of those
right. I mean, it's not
be.
a funny thing to think, but it is too. I mean, it's like that logical leap doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
However, it was also affecting me the same way it affected you.
Right.
I felt so guilty if I left something. And then as I wanted to be on my journey of losing this 30 pounds, right, I studied many techniques. And one of them, which is the foundation for everything you can do, is the mindfulness.
Right.
Being mindful of what you put in your mouth. Now, the first thing I realized was to breathe. And some of us shovel, you say?
Shovel it in, which
shovel it
I
in.
have certainly done. I mean, it's...
And then you inhale it, you don't even taste. The moment you consciously remind yourself to breathe, you start tasting. And after 5 bites of the exact same food, ask the question, am I still tasting this food? If you ask the question, you will have to be honest about the answer.
Right.
And if you say, no, I'm not tasting it, remind yourself that the next bite will taste exactly like the previous one.
Sure.
Do you want to add more calories? Or maybe switch to something else, because variety is really the answer to health.
It's true. And when you take stock and listen to your heart and your body and breathe while you're doing it, you're going to find that you're satisfied.
Quicker.
And it's so important. And I'm putting that into place because my goal was to lose 15, 20 pounds. And I've already started getting some compliments from some people. I
can see it.
Yeah, it's getting there, right? And I started this journey by paying attention, by breathing, by being present. And that's also helped me to feel a little more like I'm in control of it. Like this is something I can do because I'm in control, I'm present doing it. I'm an active participant in this instead of just having a shovel and not paying any attention.
And what I realized, people feel so guilty at the end. They go, what happened here? I finished. They don't even know.
I can't believe I did that, right? Who ate all this food? You know?
An imposter came.
Right, exactly. Somebody snuck in and did it all. Where'd it even go? And there's no accountability there. Another nice thing about this, by the way, is another thing I've added as I started to understand that I could take control of this is more exercise by taking longer walks with my son. He's on his scooter, on his bike. I'm running alongside of him in longer bursts, I might add. And that's helped me to bond with him. So these things to become not about denial, but more about being present and enjoying richer experience.
Okay.
It's so
what
powerful.
Are we saying here? We're telling about what you put in your mouth is important. We're telling you about exercise, and we're telling you stay away from whatever is painful that you know you're not going to continue doing. Oh, by the way,
yes,
I have to share my little story about my midnight snack.
Oh, I wanted to ask about this. I knew this was something that you've been
Okay,
working on.
well. One night last week, I don't know what happened. I woke up and here I am drinking my water and I'm still awake 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and I go, oh God, I got to get up and do something.
Right.
So here I am walking towards the fridge, open it, and then I'm asking, what am I doing here? What about this commitment I made to myself? How am I going to feel tomorrow morning having taken something out of here? And I felt so bad talking about activating the good side of the pain-pleasure principle.
Right.
I walked away. And I went back with my water and eventually fell asleep. And I felt so good about myself the following day because changing the way you take your action is going to make your confidence soar. And like you said, you become more self-confident, don't you?
Well, it's a big part of it. A big part of the journey of hope is seeing when that light at the end of the tunnel is. And in your case, it was kind of, hey, I can walk away from this.
Ooh.
There's that light. And that had to give you confidence. All you have to do is develop that, exercise some patience with it, understand that it does take time.
Oh, and may I add something about
Please do.
patience?
Please do.
28 days is the time it takes to create a new loop, a new habit for you. 28 days. So don't get impatient by the end of the first week saying, oh, it doesn't work because you're not doing it.
Right.
Every day, even if you do a little bit better, just claim your victory. And I think it's time to ask questions.
Let's do it. The questions are so powerful overall. And just like last week, take these things to heart. Don't just listen to them. Think about these things. Number
All right.
one,
Yes.
what do you hope to accomplish to be fit and healthy?
Small thing.
That's it. Not that hard.
Tangible, visible for you.
What is the inspired action you're willing to take? Again, you can't just sit there. What are you willing to do when you're inspired to do it?
Like Mike did with his son and with leaving food on the plate.
Exactly. I love that technique. What do you hope, or when do you hope to see the result? What's your window of time here?
Yeah, you need to have that to get going.
You do.
And as I told you, a month, you already see the difference
Right.
of your behavior.
Accountability. Make
And
yourself
then you
accountable.
feel like it's second nature. You don't have to worry. It's your mind is doing it.
It's very true, and that's keeping your eyes on that prize.
Yeah.
The other thing is, this ties right in, can you see that chosen result? Is it feasible? And is it simple enough that you're not going to fall into the mental trickery and start avoiding it? Those are such powerful questions, but think them over and they're going to help you along your journey. And we've got something else to help you, a couple of things.
A little poem
love
and
these.
meditation
Okay.
coming up. Now that you have taken time to look at your reflection, use your vision to help you choose the right direction. You can't sit around and eat bonbons all day and hope that your muscle will show up anyway. For your journey to begin, you must take the first steps. For your muscle to grow, you must put in the reps. Hold on to hope. Have a vision and believe it. Keep hope in your heart, and I know you will receive it. Yes.
So true. I love it.
Victory.
Victory.
Okay, a little meditation.
Let's do it.
Before we close.
Yes.
And you know what to do. You uncross the legs. And if you enjoy putting your hand on your heart, since we are heart
It's
chatting,
heart chat.
the other one on your belly, because your belly is your power center.
Power center.
It,
I remember
the
from your book.
desired action is coming from that. And here it's listening to the heart. And you take a deep breath in and exhale through the mouth, letting go of anything on your mind. Just get back to the moment. Again, deep breaths out through the mouth. And on the third one, you're going to close your eyes. Close your eyes. And take a moment to be here with you, sitting where you are on the throne of your higher self. On the higher self, that throne that gives you the opportunity, the hope to get going on this journey of transformation, of becoming the person you always wanted to be. Just remembering that your mind can begin to act as if you already were the person or the body you want to have. Creating that vision. And imagining, if you like, a person in your life that you admire, that has achieved the result that you want. Conjure up that person and see and follow their footsteps. And maybe in the future you may want to ask them exactly what they do, what they did to get to where they are. Just remembering that as you copy them, you're still you. You are unique, beautiful you. And you already are inside. It's just time to manifest. And take 1 minute to see now you on that screen of the mind, the way you want to be, with a big smile because you did it. You feel so good. And as you breathe deeply into your heart, keeping that smile on your face, that victory energy inside you, you're going to reopen your eyes slowly. Put your hands in prayer position. And then we say, can we say?
We'll say it. We'll say victory to you. Victory is yours. Claim it.
See you soon.
Au revoir.
À bientôt.
Bye.